Thank you, Temu, for sponsoring this video. What's up, dude? You know those crazy viral cooking videos with millions of views? It's always just a pair of hands, peaceful music, and weird titles. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Today in my new series, we'll see about that. We're gonna put one of those viral recipes to the test to see if it's really worth the hype. And as always, there is no time to waste. Now let's go. Today's recipe is coming from the channel Enfys Yemek Tarifleri. I hope I said that right. I definitely did not. And we're cooking their most viral recipe with 65 million views. Whoa. That's a lot of views. And the title is Bread in 10 Minutes, No Oven. This is the tastiest thing I've ever eaten. Judging by the thumbnail, they look good, but tastiest thing I've ever eaten? And we're off. Okay, so they puff up. The first shot is them puffing up like pita bread. That's cool. I actually really love easy dough recipes that turn out amazing. There is a kind of beauty to that simplicity. It's nice. I mean, you know, sometimes you can spend 5 hours cooking something that's just okay. Sometimes you can spend 10 minutes making something that's amazing. There's no rules here. So we've got yogurt, warm water, baking powder, flour, and salt. And that's all she wrote for the dough. Looks really nice, like not too wet, not too dry kind of thing. And now some oil is entering the party. I honestly hope these are really good. I've never watched this video before. I always blind react to these. So let's see how it turns out. Merch? Huh? Oh! At this point, we're making our dough into little balls, roll it into a little flatbread shape. They're pretty thick, actually. That's pretty thick, but I guess that's what they intended. I'm not sure how hot their pan is. It just says preheated pan. I feel like a lot of these kind of channels always leave out a lot of details. And if you're trying to recreate a recipe, you need times and temperatures and all that stuff, which I will always try to do when I recreate it myself. So to me, I don't know, there's no color or anything. That's all right. Now they're puffing up. Like many great doughs do, tortillas, pita, even if you make a really good flour tortilla, that will happen. That's a nice effect. So we're gonna be able to cut these in half and like stuff them full of things if we want. Okay, now that they're done, they actually look a lot better to me. They just looked a little bit doughy until they did that balloon thing, and they're getting brushed with olive oil to finish. Okay, they look good. They look nice and hollow. I like that you can open them up and stuff them with things if you want. But with a recipe this simple, how good can it possibly be? Is it worth the hype? Is it worth 65 million views? We will see about that. And as always, at the end of the video, we'll give it a rating 1 through 10. And if it turns out to be amazing, we're definitely gonna go attack my fridge. Okay, we're starting with a glass of yogurt, which is what they say in the video. I have measured everything out for you in the description in both imperial and metric systems. Having said that, that was 1 cup or 220 grams of yogurt. Next, just a touch over 3/4 cup of warm water, or 200 milliliters, 2 1/4 teaspoons of baking powder, which is 10 grams. Now here's a little discrepancy because in the video it says 4 cups of flour or 480 grams, but I actually just weighed out 480 grams of flour and measured it out for you. And for me, that was 3 cups plus 2 tablespoons of flour, which is almost an entire cup off. So I'll start with this. I'll let you know how it goes. Teaspoon of salt going in, 8 grams, and we'll start mixing it all up. A little mixy. Where are you watching from today? Let us know how your day went. Leave us a funny comment, and how is your weather doing where you living are? These kind of channels always ask the funniest questions. What's your mother's maiden name? Have you ever had a pet? Do you want a pet? Would you have dog, cat, or frog? Okay, I'm gonna do what they do once it's mixed up a little bit. Get in here with my hand, bring it all together. At this point, we're dumping our oil on. That's just 1 tablespoon or 10 mils of any kind of just neutral cooking oil. I used avocado. And we're gonna start smashing it in, smash it in. Now, I did use the exact same amount of flour as they used in the video, although it feels a little bit sticky to me. So I'm gonna go ahead and start adding 2 tablespoons at a time with the flour. Mix this in, we're gonna see how it feels. I want it to be sticky to the touch, but not stick to my finger, if that makes sense. We should have a sticky dough, but not too sticky. This feels better. Although when you make adjustments to these kind of bread recipes, you really gotta give it a minute to work in the flour. I find when you're doing these kind of recipes, it's always good to start with less flour and just add more little by little as you need. If you put too much, it's really hard to go back the other way. It's almost impossible. There we go. I added another 4 tablespoons of flour. It's still a little bit sticky, but in the next step, we're gonna put more flour as we roll it out. So I'm gonna leave it like this. Now I'm gonna lay down a bunch of flour onto a work surface. It is true what they say in the video. It's quite nice that there's no yeast in this dough. Move some of this flour to the side. Feels nice. Now we're gonna get it into a rough sort of egg shape. And from here, I'll take a pastry cutter and we'll slice it right in half. And now she does 10 pieces per batch. Doesn't need to be perfect, roughly like so. And from here, we're gonna start forming it into a little ball. Use a little more flour if need be. You can use a little technique like this, and that'll form it into a ball real nice. Something like this looks good. A little off on my sizes, but that's okay. We're gonna put them onto a floured board once they've been all rolled into balls. And they put them in a bag. I'm just gonna use a little cling film or saran wrap, dude, so they won't dry out until we roll them. Take a little more flour. Now I'm gonna take my ball here and roll it out. I saw hers were pretty small. When they went into the pan, she was able to fit like, I think 5 of them. So I'm gonna go something just like this. I really don't wanna overdo it. Just right there. And now back onto a floured work surface, but I don't wanna stack them up so they don't stick. For now, I'll just roll out 5 of these, although you can definitely cook them all at once. Before we test out this recipe, let me introduce today's sponsor, Temu. Temu is an online marketplace that is absolutely sweeping the nation. And with high quality products, affordable prices, multiple categories, and amazing coupons, you can see why. They're having site-wide sales with savings up to 90% off, as well as free shipping and free returns within 90 days of purchase. My wife and I just had an absolute blast ordering from Temu. So let me open the box and tell you what we personally went after for our home kitchen. All right, here we go. Starting with definitely some secure packaging. This beautiful textured plate. This bed frame kitchen sponge holder, which we actually needed. I like that it's held in place by those pillows. This interesting, almost beaker-like glass. A nice sturdy kitchen bowl. Can never have enough of these, am I right? This kitchen bowl, which I absolutely love because of this. You can stick it down, doesn't slide all over the place. That's awesome. More bowls. Squeaky pet for Ollie. Nice squeegee for windows and surfaces. Kitchen towels. This absolutely clutch item that stops the water from pulling up behind your sink. And this piece that fixes that annoying little crack between your counter and your stove. This stylish little coffee cup that my wife really wanted. And last but not least, a 6-pack of these cool little drinking jars with insertable straws. You can download the Temu app by clicking the link down in the description underneath this video and get 100 coupons for free. I also have all the selected items from my personal box down in the description below, and you can expect to save 50% by using my unique code. Thank you, Temu, for sponsoring this post, and now back to the video. Here we go. I'm gonna drop them straight into a medium heat pan that's been preheated. See how many we can do here. I'll try to fit 3. I don't know if I can. Yes, I can. 3 it is. They are gonna shrink a little bit here in a sec. She must have the biggest pan ever, or she made smaller ones from when she rolled them out because it's not like checking out. I'm gonna flip the first ones after a minute. Another 2 minutes, I'm flipping again. Starting to get a tiny bit of color now. Pan's a little bit crowded. I would probably only do 2 next time, although they're gonna work out. Now, it's at this point we should see them hopefully starting to puff. Aha, this one is starting to go. Let's see, are the others gonna do it? That's another minute. I'm gonna flip again. I have a little puffing on this one, but I'm not getting that incredible puffing that she got on hers. And I really think that has to do with how thin you roll them out. So I'm gonna experiment here in a second to try to get them to do that. Okay, that's 4 minutes total, flipping each minute. I'm getting these out. Here we go, I've got another one rolled out a little bit thinner. I feel like this may be one of those recipes where it looks really good on camera. Maybe because the original creator has made them so many times, but it's feeling like it's a little bit harder to pull off. Like you gotta get the thinness just right. Let's see if this one puffs. This one's almost twice as thin as the first ones. I'll follow the exact same process on the flips. This one's definitely puffing more. You can see it really puffing up like a flour tortilla, but it's still not there. It feels like it needs to be even thinner again. I'm trying one more, even a little bit thinner this time. I don't know if I just suck at this or if there's a difference in the flour we're using, the yogurt. I don't know. There's a lot of factors here, but this is the 3rd different type of thickness I've tried to get them to puff really good, and it's not working out for me. Yeah, you know what? This one isn't puffing at all. I think it's just tricky. It's just tricky. I can see how if someone were to make this at home and expect the results they saw on the video, you might get it, you might not. You know what I mean? It's that kind of thing. It's a gamble, but we at least need to see how they taste. The last thing we need to do is brush these with a little bit of olive oil to finish, as is done in the video. Before tasting, I will definitely say to call it a 10-minute recipe. It's a little on the edge. You could probably make these in 10 minutes if you've made them like 100 times before and you're a really fast cook. Otherwise, you really are looking more at like 20 minutes, I would say, to pull these off. Let's give it a taste. I don't know how we get them to puff, but Marcus, why don't you come try? This isn't something I would ever just make and then eat on its own. They're not terrible, but honestly, I would just spend a little more time and make some flatbreads or something. Yes, you can make a quick bread without yeast or having to wait for something to rise, but it's almost like just take 2 or 3 times longer and make something that's better. That's how I feel about it right now. Wow, what do you think, Marcus?
I mean, these be good for like something saucy. The whole reason you click on the video, because it takes 10 minutes. It didn't take us 10 minutes. He's a pro chef. The measurements weren't right. If you didn't know how to cook and you tried to follow them exactly, you would mess up and it would not take 10 minutes.
Well spoken, Marcus. I say this one is a little bit of a gamble, if you ask me. Based on the difficulty and the discrepancies of this recipe, I'm gonna give it a 5.9. If you wanna keep learning today, I have a video right there about breakfast burritos. And within that, there is an incredible, I mean incredible recipe for homemade flour tortillas. You can also now find merch if you wanna help support the channel. This is one piece of many. The recipe from this video will be posted down in the description, as well as a link to the original creator's page. Thanks for watching, and until next time, you know I love you and I'm out!